This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tim, Tom.
Tim, it's a very simple show. It's a simple concept.
You might notice, Tom, I'm not at 100%.
Yeah.
I had some drinks last night.
Uh-huh.
I'm not hungover,
Right.
but I feel bad because I drank.
I'm not hungover. I think I'm dying.
No, I feel like, I'm not sure if this rises to hungover territory.
Yeah.
But my brain is foggy,
Mm-hmm.
my body hurts, and I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I that happens to me often nowadays, where I feel like I've finally learned at my age the point where I need to stop drinking because I'll have like an awful headache for 2 days.
Right.
But I haven't figured out the point where I think I have figured it out, and it's like after 2 beers where I'll feel it the next day.
Yeah, and again, I don't feel, oh god, I gotta get me a
don't
Big
feel
Mac.
100%.
It's like,
You're calling me Tim.
yeah, and it feels like somebody drained 50% of the blood out of my body.
You weren't at a vampire bar or something like that, were you?
There was a lot of black velvet around.
Oh, you weren't at that bordello from Bordello of Blood, were you?
I wish I was at that bordello.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Dennis Miller would be there.
Yeah,
Wisecracking.
slinging quips.
Eh.
You'd be looking at vampires' boobs.
Tom, we had a wild week last week on
Yeah.
The Complete Guide to Everything. We had Christine here, friend of the show, answering questions.
Yeah.
Good feedback. Good feedback. Better feedback than when we host without her.
Well, when we
Little hurtful.
When we host without her, no feedback's necessary.
Everybody
A
knows.
plus, 100%. Once again, you guys knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, every time freaking, I don't know, who are we talking about here? Aerosmith plays a show. Did the newspapers print another incredible show by Aerosmith? No, we know that Aerosmith played an incredible show.
I think
last
they
night.
do in Boston. I think they still cover it when Aerosmith's on tour, even when they're not playing in Boston.
Yeah. North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina was rocked last night by Love in an Elevator.
The people of Boston like to hear how their hometown heroes are doing out there on the road.
Tom, this makes me think of one thing that leads to another thing.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm going to give you my train of thought here.
Okay.
Aerosmith going on their farewell tour.
Right. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I think the tagline is like, "You think we're kidding? Dream on."
Oh, okay.
They're serious. About
like the HBO show.
Yeah, exactly. And then
They're big fans of that.
I bet Steven Tyler watched some Brian Benben.
Tour bus.
Yeah. This makes me think of the announcement, I believe today. Harrowing news, Tom. Billy Joel will be playing his last show of his Madison Square Garden residency. I think like sometime next year, but he's going to stop at 150 shows.
Okay. So then that's when we can start and unseat his chair. Now we know where we have to hit. 150 shows, no problem.
It's a lot easier to achieve a goal
when you know what it is.
Exactly.
You can see it.
Yeah, then we'll get started, and now we can tackle it with the right plan.
We've got our goal in mind to beat Billy Joel once and for all. Is he retiring?
He's also selling his house on Long Island.
Yeah, I did see that.
Which has
that they do cover in the New York newspapers.
It kind of seems like he's retiring a little bit. He's moving to. They say he's primarily going to live in Florida.
They said he's moving out. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's from Long Island. He has to go retire in Florida. That's the law.
You don't have to do that when you have hundreds of millions of dollars. I know his brother-in-law stole some of it.
Yeah.
But that was before the 150 show run at Madison
Yeah, I'm
Square
sure
Garden.
he makes a few bucks from all those shows. Yeah, you don't have to move to Florida, Billy Joel. You can just get a house in Florida.
Yeah.
You can get a house somewhere else.
It might not have a bowling alley like the one on Long Island.
Yeah. Well, I think in Florida, some areas of Florida, you don't have basements because of the flooding.
Right.
Was the bowling alley in the basement?
No, I think it was a
Wow,
standalone.
an upstairs bowling alley.
Yeah,
it's on the third floor. You could hear it all throughout the house.
That's why he's moving, actually. It's like,
this bowling is driving me crazy.
Public bowling alley, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
It's
well, you're asking for trouble then.
Priced right, too, Tom.
Yeah?
Still reasonable prices.
Okay.
You can bring a date there on a Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Would you ever go bowling with your fiance?
Yeah, sure. I have been bowling, not just the two of us.
Yeah.
But we went to Paul McKenna's birthday party. That was at a bowling alley.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
and she doesn't think any less of me.
yeah, I'd like to go bowling on a romantic date with my wife.
Yeah, you can make it happen. You gotta do it before BJ moves down south, though.
Yeah. Tom, you want to get right into it?
Tim, let's get into it. Because look, we made a solemn vow that we were going to cover all the big summer movie releases coming out this summer. And then
we foolishly thought we could do it in one episode.
Right.
We didn't, and then we were like, well, surely two will be enough. No, and the second one was so draining that we had to take a break.
Take a week off.
With Christine.
Yeah, pull an episode from the vault. That episode was recorded 17 years ago. Oddly enough, if anybody noticed, if it sounded kind of like scratchy
and we sounded so youthful. Didn't sound like somebody drained a bunch of our blood.
I am curious.
Do you get more blood or you get less blood as you age, right?
No, I think you have the same amount of blood not all the time. Not when you're a baby.
Look at a very old man. You think that guy's got as much blood as you and I?
Well, it's not like the blood is going somewhere unless they're
you think
getting
it's the
cut
same
a lot.
blood day in and day out in your body? You think you have the same blood that you had when you were a baby?
You think an old man doesn't make as much blood and just has less blood?
Yes.
Because I think your body always has kind of the same amount of blood in it.
We should ask a doctor or a registered nurse or something or a physician's assistant when they go. Sometimes I bet you go to draw blood from an old person, you just you hit a vein, it goes.
Just dust fills up the syringe.
Yeah.
I like after they take my blood for a test, I like to say, "I'm gonna get that back, right?"
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, give me that back. And then when they laugh, I get real mad. No, I want it back in my body, not a vampire.
This
thing.
one physician's assistant was she kept making the same joke, or it wasn't even a joke. I don't think she would even call it a joke, but she was just like, "Hey, okay, we're just gonna do this." It was inappropriate for a doctor's
It's like
office.
the second time she's going through, it's like I know the setup,
but she was heightening
line.
it. Like
right.
it was, like I knew it's eventually going to wind up with the, but she was making it grosser, more scatological.
Yeah, well, she's probably got a good idea of anatomy and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was putting that degree to good use.
Yeah.
No, she just kept saying like, "Yeah, before you get out of here, I'm going to steal some blood from you."
Oh, that's what she said?
Yeah.
Oh, that is suspicious. That was the joke? Wow.
Yeah, and she said it numerous times. And she's like, "All right, well, just take your height, okay? Do you get this at your checkups, your yearly physicals?"
I don't think they take my height anymore.
I get annual physicals. No, they don't take my height. They ask me my height, which is like, why do you... I've been here a few years. Like,
and you say 6'5"?
Yeah. But then... And she rolls her eyes. And she's like, "Well, I'm going to have to steal some blood from you." And all they really do is just like ask me if I'm okay and then take some blood. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think at my physicals...
They're like, "You good?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I think so." And they're like, "Okay." You steal some blood from me and we get you
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
here.
it's blood. They'll check your blood pressure.
Yeah.
They'll listen to your ticker a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think they kind of rely on you to tell them, like, if anything's going on, anything feels off, anything you're concerned about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What do you expect?
I don't trust
do?
myself. Like
You want like a whole body X-ray done?
I'm paying a lot for this, Tom.
Yeah. Well, isn't it free with health insurance? Like one yearly
Not of this
checkup?
place.
Wow. Well, it should be if they're stealing your blood.
Yeah, but they're also telling me the aristocrats.
Blood comes from bones. Am I getting this right? That's where blood comes from.
Tom, we're gonna get letters.
How do you? Where does more blood get made?
Marrow?
That's what I think, but how does it get out of the bones?
I think we've been misled a little bit about bones.
In what way? I don't disagree, but
I don't think they're as hard as we've been led to believe. We're not hard. I think they might be more porous than like I think of a bone as like a rock.
Right.
I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah, I mean, you think about, well, you're a vegetarian, so you don't see like animal bones very often, but like, yeah, you're eating like chicken wings or something. It's like, these are.
I can see how blood could come out of this. Squeeze out of that.
Yeah. All right. So that's, how does your body know if you need more blood or less blood? And what does it do if you need less?
I mean, I don't know. Ask an old man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you might be like, trust me, when you need more blood, your body tells you. My body's been telling me for 30 years.
That lady, that guy goes in there. She's like, I'm going to steal some blood for you. He's like, please don't.
No, I don't have any to spare.
The other nurse already stole my watch. Telling stories, you old man. You weren't wearing a watch when you came in here.
Sure I was. It was given to me by Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Summer movies. Hooray for Hollywood.
Part 3. Well, Tim, we only covered 2 movies last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We stopped right before some of the biggest bangers coming out this summer.
Tom, can we make a pact? Mm-hmm. If we don't finish this list this week,
we'll just stop.
No, we're going to keep going as long as it takes.
All right. I think we can get through this list. But let's start with a certified banger, even before it comes out. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
In theaters, July 12th.
Yeah. Or I think it's Dead Reckoning Part 1. Is that the official title?
Yeah, because it's the first of a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Well, all right. What is this, Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes descriptions.
So it says, am I... Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. This is the first of a 2-parter, as its title indicates.
Yeah, but I think I didn't copy it right. That's why I think it might be Dead Reckoning Part 1.
The latest installment of the Mission Impossible franchise sees the return of the IMF team led by Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt. We don't know much about the film's premise or the nature of this particular impossible mission, but you'll definitely see Tom Cruise ride a motorcycle off a cliff in it.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about the film's premise because they're still writing it right now. It's going to be told through ADR while characters' backs are turned to the camera.
Why do they make the Mission Impossible movies that way? They're like, well, we better get started on these stunts. No time to think of the story first. And then we'll figure out how to link all these stunts together.
Yeah, and especially like the stories in the Mission Impossible movies... Like, I would like to sit down and, like, take notes one day because they're not complicated stories, but they are complicated enough so that I think, like, you don't follow it and realize, like, oh, wait a minute. If that's the case, why didn't the guy just say something? Or why didn't he just go to this place in the first place?
Yeah, I think I think everybody just has a tacit understanding and an agreement that we're all going to go into this and just be like, there's going to be a plot, and they're going to like be like, oh, there's twists and turns, but we just want to see Tom Cruise like hang off the side of an airplane and stuff. Yeah,
and the movie theaters aren't going to sell tickets to just like a 45-minute stunt show.
I mean, I would love it.
Yeah, that'd be great, especially if they charge less, it'd be cheaper to make the movies. It'd be great.
Tom Cruise really pulled off an amazing feat, huh?
Yeah.
He's so beloved, despite all the unpleasantness.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, I'll see occasionally people who are like they must keep all this from Tom Cruise. He doesn't know how bad they are. It's like Tom Cruise is number 2 at Scientology. He is way, way up there.
They gave him a like souped up motorcycle and everything.
Yeah.
Several.
But he's like best friends with David Miscavige. Mm. Like I'm sure the boring stuff he doesn't get involved in, but and he's also like a control freak. So there's no way he's part of this organization and is like, oh, but you can keep stuff from me. Keep me in the dark about things.
Yeah. The thing that he doesn't know that everybody's talking about it too.
He's in the movie industry and he's like, I have to see every movie before it comes out.
He's an odd man.
Yeah.
But he's determined to die on film, and I'll be there.
I think he doesn't think he can die.
And
he might be right.
Yeah, there's no proof that Tom Cruise can die.
Yeah. I was reading. Yeah, we talked about 2 weeks ago the Flash movie, and I was mentioning how there's like all these random people coming out and saying like, I got to see an advanced screening of The Flash. Wow, what a movie. And Tom Cruise is one of the people. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not even like the same studio that puts out
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Yeah. Like, just kind of weird. But then I read that apparently that whole like Stephen King saw it the other day. I was like, why is Stephen King tweeting about The Flash? And people were pointing out there like Stephen King doesn't tweet about all the movies that are made out of his stuff, but here he is tweeting about The Flash.
He tweets about a lot of stuff.
That's true.
They should take away his Twitter account. His family
should.
Yeah.
I think Elon Musk was trying to.
No, he wanted him to. He gave him the blue check mark.
Yeah, but he tried to make him pay the $8 first. Oh,
yeah.
It's like, all right, I'll pay it. But I read that apparently the reason why all these celebrities and stuff are being shown this movie and talking about it is that they're doing this in lieu of Ezra Miller having to do a press tour. Because they know... Like, we can't have Ezra Miller go on these talk shows. Like, all they're going to be asked about is all the crazy stuff that they've been accused of.
All the crimes.
Yeah, all the crimes that they've been charged with. So they know they can't do that. Although I would think they could get Michael Keaton to go out, and maybe he will later in the...
Michael Keaton will be like, I didn't see the thing, but...
Yeah. But they'll pay him, and he'll go out and say, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Maybe Michael Keaton is past that point.
I don't know. He made a cameo in the Morbius movie, Tim.
Tom, I saw the commercial for Batman, The Flash.
Right. With Batman.
Yeah.
2 Batmans.
Ben Affleck's in this movie, Tom.
Not only is Ben Affleck
Nobody
in the
told
movie,
me Ben Affleck was going to be back.
Yeah, maybe the last time we get to see Batfleck. Not only is he back, Tim, you can't really see it in the commercial because everything's moving so fast, but he's wearing a gray and blue Batman suit, like the cartoon Batman.
Oh, yeah. That's very exciting. You're very much into the costume choices.
Yeah, I'm very much into the costume choices, Tim.
Well... How do we get back to The Flash? We're talking about Mission Impossible.
Well, I was just talking about marketing and how they're doing marketing for this thing.
You trick me into talking about comic book movies all the time.
But I don't know if they're just like straight up, hey, Tom Cruise, we'll pay you to tweet about how good The Flash is, or if it's you do us a favor, we'll do you a favor.
Remember that lady that got nominated for an Oscar because
everybody felt bad.
Everybody was like, "This was a tour de force or whatever." This last, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Wait, what was No, now I'm genuinely curious.
What was her name? She was see people who in the know here. I don't know. They had to make a new rule. They had to get Bill Maher in to the Oscars and do a new rule.
Oh wow.
about how you can campaign, because there was a woman, I forget her name, Andrea Riseborough or something.
Yeah.
She was in a movie. She was in an indie movie. And like not a lot of people saw it. I think Mark Maron was in it. I hear he gave a good performance in it. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he is a decent actor.
And then suddenly all these big stars started tweeting like Andrea Riseborough in. I wish I knew the name of the movie. Is a tour de force. Blah blah blah. And like, this is and like right before like Oscar nominations were coming out. Or being decided, and then somebody like people realize like, oh, these are all using like the same language,
right?
Like literally like these, and it turns out like her agency was getting other agency clients to do this, and like got enough buzz through that she got an Oscar nomination.
Hey, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I said her name, which I'm like 60% sure I got right.
But how did that happen? Like, how did her agency get so behind her? Like, was she, somebody's niece or something?
No, I mean, they represent her. They want.
But how'd they get all these other bigger names?
Because they're also clients of that agency.
Yeah, but why don't they say, hey, Andrea Ricefellow, why don't we, we got to try and get Tom Cruise an Oscar this year. Unfortunately, we don't have time to promote you for an Oscar.
Well, they didn't. They chose her.
That's what I'm saying. How'd they choose her?
Because she gave a good performance in the movie. Her agent. She knows her agent.
Whose palms did she grease?
I don't know. She's greasing some palms.
This is the way Hollywood works, man.
Tom, I'm so gled you're here to tell me how Hollywood works.
Tim, boy, I could see you right now getting off the bus on Sunset Boulevard, getting taken in by the first kindly face you see. Unbelievable. So yeah, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Have you watched a trailer for this one?
I don't think so. This is my problem with the.
I don't think I may have, or I may be thinking of another Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I don't know what happens in each one. But I'm a little bit so they've already released like a lengthy behind the scenes featurette about this one motorcycle stunt.
Yeah,
which like a movie. This movie isn't a movie, right? Like, if you go and see the movie in the theater, that's not like the full experience. Is that, and then being like, and if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, you'll see that they actually practically did this, and and like to me, it's just like, can't something just be contained? Do we have to watch all these ancillary? It's like when you watch a show on HBO and the episode's over and then it's like, now we're gonna have 5 minutes of all the actors and the director and writer explaining what just happened.
Yeah, I love that.
Why don't you just watch the episode and know all that stuff?
I know, but I still like to hear the people who are involved, what their take on it is.
At least put it in a different section. Don't put it right on in the same file.
It's after the credits, the same file. Yeah, I do agree, because I that's why I asked if you had seen the actual trailer, because I watched it the other day, and of course I had watched that. It was like a 12-minute behind the scenes of how they did that stunt. And for anybody who hasn't seen this 12-minute sequence, they built this huge ramp off like a cliff. And he rode a dirt bike, it seemed like, or a motorcycle, very fast.
The one David Miscavige gave him.
Oh, he'd be mad then, Tim, because I don't think they got that motorcycle back. Because he drives it right off the ramp, and you go, oh, no, he ran out of road.
What are you doing? Yeah.
But guess what? He's got a parachute on his back, and he pulls the parachute.
I understand, and that's thrilling, by the way, right?
Yes.
I understand why they want to do that, though, because like if this movie came out in like 1986, you'd be like, well, the only way that they could have possibly done that is if he did that.
Yeah.
But, there's so much, Tom, I don't know if you know, there's computer trickery in movies, and it's really getting
But that's what I was going to say. When you watch the actual trailer, he's not jumping off a ramp. He's jumping off a cliff. Like they use CGI to replace the ramp and make it just look like a cliff, which I feel like is like, well, then you could do the whole thing in CGI. Like, if you're going to do it practically, try and do everything practically. Build a fake cliff or whatever.
Right.
But also I feel like in the trailer, because I watched a video that I think showed like side by side, like the behind the scenes and then the scene from the trailer. I think I could be wrong, but I think also you could see they like digitally added a parachute to his back. Like the parachute he had on, you couldn't really see, which you would think would be ideal. You would think if anything, they're going to take that parachute out, and it's like, oh, he had this like little tiny Mission Impossible type.
Yeah, but
parachute.
it's got a read on screen. Now people are like, why isn't he falling to his death? Oh, is there a parachute there?
He pulls the parachute like 2 seconds later, so you see it. I'm just saying, all or nothing. I go the same way. I've told
throwing down the gauntlet. You hear that? Cruise all or nothing.
Well, but I say the same thing about like the latest Marvel movies and stuff. Where it's like that last Ant-Man movie. Just make the whole thing CG.
Yeah,
like it seems like it was just kind of a pain in the ass to like put green screened actors into this stuff. Just make the whole thing CG. I'm kind of surprised we aren't at the point where. Superhero movies. I mean, I guess the new Spider-Verse movie's coming out, and that's all CG. I'm kind of surprised that there aren't more like that, and even just like realistic CG.
Yeah, I mean, they want to do that, of course.
Well, they should do it.
Hey, read freaking Justine Bateman's tweet threads about how AI and everything is gonna take over, and CGI. And like CGI.
CGI has taken over.
Yeah, but how it's just like, hey, actors are just going to start licensing their likeness.
Yeah.
And then the hottest actor will be in 400 movies a year.
I mean, they're doing stuff like that already with like digital doubles, where people who don't want to be Tom Cruise jumping out of an airplane. They go, oh, yeah, that's fine. Actually, we would prefer that you don't do that because if you get hurt, then we have to shut down the whole production.
Right, but if some guy gets hurt.
If some guy gets, chopped up by the helicopter blades, it doesn't matter.
Bury his bones in the desert.
Because they can just very easily put the actor's face on the
I know about the masks in the Mission Impossible movie. There's a very realistic Wolf Blitzer mask that they used in the last one.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Do you think Wolf Blitzer will be returning for the Dead Reckoning?
I forgot that there's a scene in the last Mission Impossible where it's Tom Cruise, right? Wearing an incredibly realistic Wolf Blitzer mask.
Yeah, and this is how sucked in I got to this freaking movie. I was like, well, Wolf Blitzer wasn't actually in the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
because I remember getting on the arms just like,
they had to license his likeness.
I hate when journalists go in movies.
Oh, me too.
And like when I saw this, I was like, of course, freaking Wolf Blitzer, like the worst journalist on earth too. And then I was like, well, no, he didn't. It's not like Wolf Blitzer went to the set of the movie. It was a guy in a mask.
He just licensed his face for them to make a mask.
Yeah,
it is pretty funny too. Because Wolf Blitzer is super short. I'm kind of surprised that Tom Cruise wasn't like, find out who the tallest newsman is, and that's who I'm going to be when he takes the mask off.
Who is the tallest newsman? Is Anderson Cooper tall? I bet he's like 6'1".
I think he's like normal, like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. Yeah. Well, I met Wolf Blitzer once. He was teeny. Yeah, I picked him up. I put him in my pocket.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the verge of not having much blood in him, right?
Because
like an older fella. Yeah,
he's not that old. I think he's still probably got a regular amount of blood in him. When I met him, like my back was to him, and somebody came over and they're like, "Tom, I'd like you to meet Wolf Blitzer," and I went, "Oh!" thought there was an actual wolf.
An actual wolf.
Yeah, and I turned around. I was like, "What are you talking about? Nobody's here." And he's like, "Down here." Oh, there he is. Little guy is what I'm trying to say.
A little man.
And apparently a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I mean, when you have one
He tricked
Tom
you
Cruise,
into thinking he was Tom Cruise.
he really did.
I wonder if he gets credited in the movie like Wolf Blitzer as Ethan Hunt. Tom Cruise and Wolf Blitzer as Ethan Hunt.
Who's that one guy from New York 1? Pat Kiernan?
Yeah, he's in
every single freaking movie.
Anderson Cooper's in like every movie too.
That should be illegal.
Yeah, I hate when they do that.
Yeah, it's confusing because then I think the movie's really happening.
No, I just hate it because I think it's unprofessional for a news person to do. And not like these people are actual news people at this point.
You don't think that Wolf Blitzer's like pounding the pant, like shoe leather, showing up at places with a derby hat with the press card in it?
No, I don't think so. I think he gets, I don't know, put in like some little vault at the end of the night in CNN headquarters. And then in the morning, the custodian opens it up and takes him out, fills him up with blood for the day, and sends him on his way. Tim, the weekend
Strong start to the second segment, Tom.
The week after Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is what I would argue is the biggest weekend of movies in the summer.
History?
Not in history, surely, but for this summer maybe, because July 21st we have Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Barbie versus
These are two separate movies.
Oppenheimer.
It's not one movie called Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Barbie, we'll start with, Tom.
Yeah.
Oscar nominee Greta Gerwig, the Ladybird herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's not.
The director of Lady Bird herself.
Directs this long in development adaptation of the iconic doll brand in this meta comedy about one particular Barbie, Margot Robbie, who ventures into the real world with Ken, played by Ryan Gosling. The goose!
The goose. The goose is the Ken.
The goose is loose.
The goose is loose, being Ken.
Tom, this is a movie that is incredibly hyped.
Yeah.
And are we all gonna like pretend like, oh yeah, this lived up to all the expectations?
Little Women was good, and Greta Gerwig did that.
The Lady Bird was good.
Yeah. I've liked, I think, everything she's done. And this, what I think is making people so interested in this movie is she's a very, like, not odd, but, like, unexpected choice for... You would expect the Barbie movie to be directed by some first-time, like, director that nobody's ever heard of, because it's like, it's to sell Barbies.
Right, or some journeyman or something.
Yeah, somebody who's been at the game.
Not an auteur.
Right. Not
and
somebody...
She's established herself to be...
Yeah, and she's never done, like, a big... I guess you could argue maybe Little Women's like a big brand.
Yeah.
But she's not done any kind of other adaptations that I'm aware of.
Right.
Everything's been like pretty original, pretty indie. So for her to then be like, working with Mattel to make something like this, which was interesting to people. But then I think when the trailers came out and the posters and stuff, people saw like, oh shit, but it looks like what you would think a Barbie movie would look like.
Right.
So now it's very interesting to people.
Yeah, I can see that it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just also feel like it's like, remember when like a band like U2 will be like, hey, we're going to get meta and like we're going to do the pop album. We're going to be a pop band now. Uh-huh. And everybody's just like, I wish you just
We're going to have that song Lemon.
Yeah, that's a good song. I like that song. Numb. Remember Numb? I feel numb.
Yeah. That was a good album.
It was good. But like,
I liked when they did that. It was
kind of like, I don't know. It's like when, I think Jewel did that at one point too, where she's like, I'm not a folk artist anymore. I'm a pop star, and it's just like,
and who could forget Garth Brooks?
Chris Gaines.
Yeah.
When are we going to get the actual re-release of that Chris Gaines record? You know, it's out of print. It's hard to find.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Huh. I would guess maybe never is the answer, because he probably controls whether or not that goes into print again.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find the
look,
MP3s.
I'm going to see the Barbie movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, a movie...
Mm-hmm.
can only be so good.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people's emotions are tied up in this being like a mind-blowing film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are going to just be like, yeah, great. You know what I mean? But like really you're going to see behind their eyes like this did not live up to your expectations.
Yeah.
And it might have been a great movie,
Mm-hmm.
but like you got to go in with realistic expectations.
Yeah, I mean,
This movie's not going to fill a hole in your life.
I imagine it's still going to be like a big studio is not going to let her make this movie. And if she's like, and here's my pitch, it's going to be like a movie, like a couple of 40-year-old guys who do a podcast would like to go see.
I don't know, man. Like, co-written by her partner Noah Baumbach.
That's true, and that's like, what his pitch is for every movie.
Yeah.
But I would think that they'd be like, okay, right, and 8-year-old girls, right? And she's, oh, yeah, and 8-year-old girls. They'll love to see it, too. Yeah. I imagine it's still going to primarily be directed at 8-year-old girls, but it's going to have a lot of, like, adult jokes. Like, there's a joke in the trailer about... There's a joke in the trailer about, like, we're going to have a beach off. I'm going to beach you off. Like, you can't beach me off. I can beach myself off. Where it's like a kid, you know, it's going to go over their head, but an adult might choke from laughing so hard.
I mean, I'm laughing
because
already.
it sounds like beating off.
What?
Yeah. I'm sure that was like some punch up that somebody pitched.
Made into the trailer.
Yeah. Well, they want people to know, like, hey, you think this is just for kids?
Be ribald.
No, they're going to be talking about beating off in this movie.
Now you're going to go see it?
Now you're going to go see it? 40-year-old podcasters?
Yeah, maybe.
Have you seen the controversy that some people are up in arms that the Goose, Ryan Gosling, is too old to be Ken?
Oh, man. A man can't take a role in a movie.
Without being criticized about his age.
Exactly. Sick. Yeah. I mean, how old is the Goose? 38?
No, I think he's around our age. I think he's like 41, 42.
Okay. How tall is he, Tom?
I don't know. I would guess 6'1".
Okay.
Would be my guess.
I think he's 5'11".
Okay.
That's my guess.
Might be. And I think also like people were excited about Margot Robbie because it's like, oh, yeah, she looks like Barbie. But she's a good actress. Like,
and then there's that actress that also looks like Margot Robbie that's in the movie.
Yeah, Emma Mackey.
Yeah.
And it seems like maybe she's playing Skipper,
right.
Barbie's little sister, which would make sense
and
would be great. I also read an article. You've seen the trailer for this movie?
I have. Not the beaching off part, though.
Oh, wow. Well, you got to watch the Red Band trailer. So I think it might even be like the opening gag in the trailer that she takes her shoes off and her
feet are no longer
still
arched. Yeah.
Like she's wearing high heels because that's what Barbie dolls are like. I read an article about apparently foot fetishists were selling out IMAX screenings just to watch that trailer.
Cool.
And beach off to it.
Look.
There's something for everyone in this movie.
I think Greta Gerwig is one of the most exciting young talents out there. And maybe this movie will be good. Mm-hmm. But, like, there's a lot of hype. I'm always worried when there's a lot of hype.
It's true.
Because it doesn't mean the movie won't be good.
Right.
Just want everybody's expectations in check.
Yeah.
All right, you hear that, everybody?
And it does seem like it seems, which is good, that the trailer is only really showing probably what happens in the first like 20 minutes of the movie. Because it seems like the plot is basically like Barbie lives in Barbie world or whatever, and then she comes to the real world, and it's like Elf or whatever, like a fish out of water.
The Brady Bunch movie.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch movie where people are like, "Hey, you can't do that," and she's like, "But I have a dream house or whatever." Mm-hmm. And that's a joke.
That's good. Between that joke and the beating off run from earlier.
But I worry that the rest of the movie might be kind of boring.
Yeah.
That people might be like, I wish the whole movie took place in like that neon colored crazy world.
No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't.
It also seems like Will Ferrell is playing the same role he did in the Lego movie in this movie, where he's like a Mattel executive.
I didn't make it to the point in the Lego movie where he is a human.
Yeah. It happens. You find out he's like
he's a dad. Right?
Yeah, he might even be like a Lego executive or something. Yeah. I can't remember it exactly.
I watched it on a plane, and it was just too much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're easily overstimulated.
I am, and especially up that high.
Well, Tim, if Barbie isn't your speed, maybe Oppenheimer will be. Christopher Nolan takes on his first true biopic. Hey, what do you think about these people that say biopic?
I was just about to ask the same question.
Sick, right?
Yeah, I have a biopic that does it, though.
What? Well, have you corrected them?
No. I'm afraid.
It's a biographical picture, a biopic.
Yeah, but biopic sounds cool.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like bionic, which
is
cool.
Cool.
Yeah, but I hear
stuff that sounds like cool stuff is cool.
No, because you hear somebody say biopic and you're like, oh, what was that? And you leave the conversation you were in to go over like, I think this guy's got a bionic implant. I'd like to hear more about it. And then you find out he's just talking about Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'd like to talk about Oppenheimer too. But
it also sounds like biopsy, which is stressful. Yeah. Like we don't want to,
So it's a biopic.
It's biopic. Maybe I should start correcting my good friend.
His first true biopic, I guess they're not counting the Batman movies as biopics, with this look at the life of theoretical physicists. I think he was a physicist. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, it's not theoretical. J. Robert Oppenheimer, played by frequent Nolan collaborator Cillian Murphy. Cillian?
I thought it was Cillian. Chillian?
Silly Murphy?
I'm glad that Robert Oppenheimer's a weird.
Yeah.
Because they got a weird to play him.
They sure did. And his contributions to the creation of the first atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy. Let's just call him Murphy.
Murph.
Murph's a weird guy because he's one of those guys. I mean, I think there's
Is he handsome? Do people think he's handsome?
I was going to say, I think he's got the great, the mix of features you want in Hollywood, where at some angles it's like, wow, that's a handsome guy. And then other angles like, that's a weird guy. And then, depending on the lens and the lighting, they can decide, like, do we want him to be handsome in this or like distressing to look at?
Well, then why didn't freaking Christopher Nolan cast him as Two-Face?
He cast him as the Scarecrow.
I know, but he should have made him Two-Face.
No, he wanted
because then he wouldn't need makeup. He just changed the lighting a little bit.
He already had old what's his name, Aaron Eckhart, as Two-Face. He promised him.
Yeah,
he doesn't break a promise.
Tom, his face got fucked up.
It really did, Tim. It got fucked up to the point where, like, the whole movie, I'm thinking, like, yeah, I mean, this guy can't survive like this very long. Like, he can't be out here doing shit. He's gonna get an infection.
Yeah,
like Batman, just let nature take its course.
Yeah, or just touch his face for a second and be like, I'll go home.
Yeah. He must have been shot up full of drugs or something. Because like
a little crazy, Tom.
In the cartoon and the comics and stuff, it's like his face is melted with acid. So it's like it's the deformities already happened and it's set.
Yeah.
But this, it's like, no, all his skin's gone. It's just muscle and bone. And it's like, you can't be hanging around like that.
It's not a guy.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy like that.
Me neither. Thank God.
I mean, thank God for that guy, too. I wouldn't want anybody to go through that.
Yeah. What do you mean, thank God for that guy?
The theoretical guy. Thank God he doesn't exist.
Two-Face?
Yeah.
That's the only reason you're glad Two-Face doesn't exist?
No, if you were at a restaurant and you saw a guy,
a Two-Face
Two-Face guy, and half his face was
he's
just
eating soup and it's just falling out the side of his face.
I think you'd prefer, like, I wish that didn't happen to that guy. Poor guy, right?
Yeah. But I'd also...
I don't want to pity. He probably doesn't want my pity, but...
Yeah. Well, he might flip a coin to decide if he wants your pity or if he's going to kill you that day.
Oppenheimer, Tom, looks boring, right? There's like they I think blew up real atomic bombs or something, or they want us to believe this.
Yeah, I don't completely understand.
Like, there's no special effects. All the bombs are real.
But they're not giving enough detail to, if they really just were like, yeah, we worked with the government, we blew up an atomic bomb. I feel like they would be shouting, we'd be seeing behind the scenes specials about it now and stuff.
Right.
Whereas the marketing is weird where it's like, Christopher Nolan said he wanted to actually blow up an atomic bomb, and we said we'll figure out how to make it work, and like that's where they leave it.
Right.
So, not exactly sure what the deal is, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, are you excited to see the film?
Yeah, I mean, I like all of Christopher Nolan's movies.
You like Tenet?
I didn't really understand what was happening in Tenet. Tenet is probably my least favorite Nolan movie, just because that one, and that's why I'm kind of excited to see this, because I kind of feel like this is like playing it straight a little bit more, where it seems like there's black and white footage, because I was reading about they had to make a black and white IMAX film, which understandably had never been done before. Because who wants to shoot IMAX in black and white? But Christopher Nolan did.
It looks nice.
But I guess like the real life stuff, or the stuff that there's like public accounting of, or maybe even footage of, that's all in black and white, and the rest of the movie's in color. Wasn't that how Memento worked? Something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it sounds like that's as like wacky as it gets with narrative devices.
Memento, good.
Yeah.
Insomnia, good.
Mm-hmm.
Batman,
I gotta sleep. That's what that movie is.
Yeah, he's like, but it's light out.
How am I gonna sleep? Oh,
curtains.
I'm closing the curtains. It's not enough.
The Prestige. That's a
great
good
movie.
Good movie. The Batman. Inception.
Yeah, I love Inception.
You know, did I tell you I watched Inception at a drive-in a couple of years ago?
No.
You know what I thought at the end?
What?
This movie's stupid.
It was
good. I liked it.
I saw Inception twice in the theaters, and I forget if it was the first time or the second time. But I was falling asleep because it was like a long movie. It was a late show, and I fell asleep during the end with like the snowmobiles and stuff. And then I was just having like crazy dreams that I was in Inception, and then I'd wake up, I'd be in the movie theater.
Movie incepted you,
and I thought the movie theater was a dream. That's the look. If you're gonna see Inception in the movie theater, I recommend going very tired.
Yeah, go to sleep during it.
Not during the whole thing, just during the
that
climax.
Endless freaking thing where you don't really know what's going on, or like you know what's going on enough to be like, all right, I hope this part ends soon.
Yeah.
I forgot about Dunkirk.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the
what was happening in that either.
Yeah, because it was 3 stories or something.
Oh,
it was
it
like
followed like
story.
3 different soldiers,
but like on different time lines.
Yeah.
Like one was like it wasn't chronological.
Yeah,
like,
so it was a little confusing because they were like jumping around.
It's just like, just show the movie.
Yeah.
Just show Harry Styles.
I'm sure this is going to be the same thing. It's going to like jump around.
No, I can take jumping around. That's it.
No, it sounds like you couldn't.
No, there was like a there was a thing with time in it where he was trying to do something, right? Where
make it feel long.
It did feel really fucking long.
It's also funny that like he cast Harry Styles in that movie, and then for like a couple of years everybody's like, Harry Styles is a very good actor, he must be. Christopher Nolan put him in that movie, so they put him in some other movies, and then everybody's like, no, he's not a good actor, we can't put him in movies anymore.
Christopher Nolan put him in a movie, he's on screen for like 30 seconds. He's like, oi, I'm Harry.
And then Olivia Wilde was like, let me put him in my movie, and let's also have sex with her. Let's leave my partner, Jason Sudeikis.
Must have been husband, because he served her with papers, right?
Well, they have kids together, but I don't think they ever got married. And then we
welcome to Passing Judgment Cast.
And then we found out about
a child out of wedlock, you say?
Well, they deserved everything that came to them. She made him that salad dressing, the secret salad dressing.
Right. Tom, we're not even through July.
All right, Oppenheimer. It's gonna be great. Haunted Mansion. Didn't they already make this movie?
Yeah, with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, and Eddie Murphy. Disney's latest film based on an amusement park ride is a horror comedy starring Rosario Dawson as a single mother who moves into a new home, only to be terrorized by unseen forces, and invites a number of people to attempt to exorcise it. I haven't heard a fucking thing about this aside from seeing it in Rotten Tomatoes. No trailer or anything.
Tom, I gotta tell you something.
What?
I have to ask you something. Is Rosario Dawson the official favorite actress of The Complete Guide to Everything?
She might be. She's up there.
She's cool.
Love
Remember
her.
the time we saw her in an Apple store in Los Angeles with two big dogs?
Huge dogs. Yeah. And she was like, whoa! She couldn't control them. Yeah. And we were like, it's Rosario Dawson.
If you weren't Rosario Dawson, they'd tell you to get these fucking dogs out of the Apple store. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Haunted Mansion.
Tom, I also feel like, I'm not saying that this is the case for this film, but you're like, I haven't heard about this. It's like, if something's not written on your comic book blogs, how are you going to hear about it? Because you don't watch linear TV.
No, I check out trailers. I try and watch a lot of trailers.
I don't think you're
I'm going to watch the trailer for this if it's out. What was it? I heard something recently where somebody was talking about like their favorite rides at Disney World, and they were like, did you know, they were serious, like they made a Pirates of the Caribbean ride?
Who said this? A YouTuber, you saying?
Something like that, yeah.
It's kids today.
No respect for source material.
What is that smell on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride?
I don't know if it's great.
Like something about like the smoke that they use or something.
Yeah, I think also like the chlorinated water.
Yeah, the vibe, the feeling on that ride is just
it's unmatched.
Nice.
I went on that in Paris a few months ago. Yeah, all the pirates were speaking French.
What? Yeah. French pirates?
Mm-hmm. And they
don't
had,
seem so scary though, do they?
The Johnny Depp pirate at the end singing "Yo Ho" and singing it in French, and all the French people were giving him a standing ovation.
The French. Do the French love Johnny?
Yeah, they love Johnny Depp.
Yeah, just like he's kind of like a human Pepe Le Pew.
Exactly. Well, that new movie he's in is a French movie.
Yeah, and he does all this like cologne commercial or like
he does cologne commercials. French people love cologne.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's a wino. Like they love shit like that. Like, oh, he has a drinking problem and treats other people like shit. Welcome to Paris, Johnny Depp.
All right,
he has like a home there too, at least one.
We can do this, Tom. There's 4 more on the list, and
okay.
2 of them seem real boring. All right, TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, opening August 4th.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to longtime fans Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, we're getting a new animated reboot of the Ninja Turtles, this time focusing more on the teenage element of the original comics and utilizing a highly stylized animation format similar to the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I think it'll be fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got like a big cast, and I don't know, I feel like there's like a new Ninja Turtles, either live action or animated movie every
3 years.
Yeah, I don't know if they have one of those deals where it's like if you don't make a movie, you lose the rights, so you got to keep doing it.
Yeah, or like are the rights like non-exclusive, where they're gonna be like
any studio can just make a Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah, because like Nickelodeon had a Ninja Turtles animated series.
Yeah,
and like when you look up like the Nickelodeon of our youth, like Rugrats and Doug and Hey Dude and stuff, and you can't do that on television. If you look up the most successful or most popular Nickelodeon shows of all time, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is number 1. It's like, that's not a Nickelodeon show, you idiots.
Well, it was later. I mean, same thing, like Nickelodeon started, copying like the Disney Channel after our time. So like people a little younger than us have nostalgia for all these Nickelodeon shows that we've never even heard of.
Yeah.
And they
should have stopped making kid stuff when we were no longer kids.
Yeah, because
the new stuff's confusing.
Who's this for? I don't understand it. Yeah, I mean, this new Ninja Turtles, it looks like basically like a reboot for kids today.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if
Jackie Chan is a voice in it. I guess
he's Splinter.
Ah, nice.
I'm not sure if all the actors playing the Ninja Turtles are teenagers, but they all like legitimately sound like teenagers, which is a little weird. Like they all kind of have like high pitched voices.
Weird. Okay.
But we'll see. Gran Turismo, August 11th. Don't be fooled. This is no straight up video game adaptation. Instead, it's based on the true story of a teenage gamer whose Gran Turismo skills won him the opportunity to be an actual race car driver. That sounds neat.
Yeah.
Like race car movies.
That almost happened to me.
Nah, I didn't know. Did you even have Gran Turismo?
No, not with a car racing game. With that game where you had to build the burgers.
Oh yeah, you almost got a job
Commodore
building
64
burgers.
game.
Burger time.
Yeah.
Wow. What if only? What could have been? Huh?
Yeah.
If you got that job making burgers.
I applied. I think I applied at McDonald's and didn't get a call.
And put that on the resume. I've beaten 5 levels of burger time. Did you ever play Gran Turismo on PlayStation?
No, the only thing I know about Gran Turismo is the Cardigans named a record after
their second or third album.
Yeah, and it was named for the video game because they played it on the tour bus a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
But then
the Cardigans are cool.
Cardigans are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they have a song on that album called Favorite Game, which is a cool song. You would probably recognize it. It was used in trailers and stuff in the 90s. But they use it in, I think, Gran Turismo 2 as the
snake
opening.
Eating its tail.
Yeah. Well, just, Gran Turismo and the Cardigans shaking hands saying we respect each other. I hope the Cardigans have a cameo.
Don't say things to me like, oh, you'd recognize it. I know the Cardigans.
Well, you don't know.
I told you they were cool.
Favorite game or my favorite game.
You don't even know the name of it.
I know I've got it pretty close. It's one of those two. Yeah, I'll go see that. It's got Stranger Things in it. One of the old guy from, not old guy, but the older guy from Stranger Things, not one of the kids.
I don't. The man.
Yeah, the man from Stranger Things is in it.
Like the goofball.
Yeah.
The goofball in real
guy.
life. Yeah. I don't know his role on Stranger Things.
He plays the man.
He's got a cool apartment that I saw on the internet one time.
Oh wow!
He gave a tour of it.
I think he's married or dating Lily Allen. Or has been for a long time. Yeah. Strays, August 18th. Ready for Dogs Talking Dirty?
Oh, I love movies like this.
Will Ferrell leads an all-star voice cast in this decidedly adult live-action animal adventure about a naive border terrier named Reggie who is abandoned by his deadbeat owner and decides to make the trek back home to exact his revenge with a gang of strays by his side. And there's like Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, how do you say this? Isla Fisher?
Yeah, I think so.
Isla Fisher? Randall Park, Josh Gad, Will Forte, Harvey Guillen, and Sofia Vergara.
Vergara. They should make movies like this illegal. Traditionally, you'd think a talking dog movie is for kids, but this is what? Not for kids?
Yeah.
Do the dogs say fuck?
I remember seeing Sausage Party in theaters.
Yeah.
The Seth Rogen anime. It was like one of the few movies I almost walked out of. And I like Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this sucks. This is so...
And that was full of like talented, funny people.
Yeah. And it was just like
those premises.
Hot dogs look like dicks. That's what this movie is. That's what the joke is throughout the entire movie. So I imagine this is, I don't know why they don't make these very often.
You wouldn't think a carton of milk jacks off, but it does. All right. I guess. Sure.
Well, they weren't saying this is real. Damn. You misunderstood the movie.
Every movie's trying to make you believe that reality is actually happening.
It sounds like you're very... All right, you say the milk jacks off when the supermarket opens or closes. No, I'll believe it.
Yeah.
But I don't...
It affects me that much.
They don't make... I guess these are the kind of movies that they make just infrequently enough that somebody doesn't go, oh, hey... we should look at like the last time somebody made an adult animated movie. See how well that did.
Yeah, I think it does well though.
Does it? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it does well enough.
Probably a bunch of people take their kids to it, not realizing what it is.
Oh, that's kind of funny. And the last one, I don't even think Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, August 18th. Cobra Kai's Zolo Maradunya. I want to say it is. Stars as
that was offensive the way
the titular hero in this DC origin story about a recent college grad who comes into possession of an ancient alien relic that attaches to him and gives him powers beyond his wildest dreams.
Okay.
Tim, this was a movie that was supposed to be an HBO Max movie.
Oh.
And they made it around the same time they made that Batgirl movie. And it was kind of like insult to injury because the Batgirl movie they threw out, and this movie they decided was good enough to put in theaters.
Wow. I look forward to seeing it.
You're not going to see it.
What do you mean?
You're not going to go see Blue Beetle?
If it's got a blue beetle in it, if it's got an alien that attaches to a guy.
Yeah.
The guy from Cobra Kai, Tom.
Yeah.
Not just any guy.
And it's the Jaime Reyes version, not the Ted Kord version, if that changes anything for you.
I've never heard of this superhero.
It's a somewhat like obscure character. Not super obscure. Like it's one of these characters that's like, has fans, is popular with people, but just has never had like a movie or anything.
Right.
I think who's in it? There are like some funny people in it. It looks like it's like a nice family superhero movie.
Great. Bring your family.
I'm not gonna bring my family, Tim. They're all grown. They're not gonna want to go see this. But I want to see it.
Tom, we did it. We got through the list.
We got through all the summer movies.
What a fantastic summer it's going to be. Hooray for Hollywood indeed.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can check out our social media links there. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at you, Tim. Sorry, I was yawning. I'm very tired.
And you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/complete guide, where you get books to podcasts and all the old episodes of books to podcasts. You get a bonus episode of Tim and Tom and Christine Solve Your Problems that came out last week. You get all that stuff. Patreon.com/complete guide. You can get all that and more. Tim, what movie are you most excited about this summer?
I think we covered this. I think Barbie. I think it's going to be the best
Tim,
movie
I don't
I've
want
ever
you
seen.
to get too excited, too hyped about it.
Nah, there's no way it can't be
Then, after the movie, we
groundbreaking and mind-blowing.
rip you away from the ladder leading up to the roof of the
you're
movie
going to have to
theater.
mop me up off the floor because it's going to...
What does that mean, Tim? You're going to be like the milk?
What's your most anticipated movie?
I think The Flash.
All right, yeah, we said we had this discussion last week.
And then probably Oppenheimer, and then probably Barbie.
And not the Spider-Verse, huh?
I am excited for Spider-Verse.
Cartoons are for kids, I know.
I don't have tickets for it yet, though.
That's telling.
Yeah.
Let's go see Oppenheimer together in IMAX.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure neither of our significant others are interested, so they can go see the Barbie movie.
Yeah, it's for girls.
Yeah.
They
Boy
can bring
movie
their
and girl
Barbies
movie.
and play along. That's what the movie's for. for girls of all ages to bring their Barbies to the theater and hold them up at the screen. Be like,
right.
oh, my Barbie's talking to the Margot Robbie Barbie.
All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.